Boy, I really botched that last video up. That's what happens when you make a video when you're half asleep. Got my math wrong. I was trying to say 4,320 and I kept saying 4,200. Got my diameters and radiuses mixed up and I went to the wrong polygon for the degrees. I said pentagram scale when I meant pentatonic scale. Oh well. Not perfect. I think if you do the math yourself, you'll catch my drift there. Anyways, oh well. I think all that information is really fascinating. Whoever came up with it was brilliant. I mean, it had to take a lot of patience. It all starts with our two hands, our heartbeats, and the movements of the sun. So somebody had to sit there and really put a lot of thought into this stuff. I think it's really beautiful. I think it was Kepler that said, wherever there's matter, there's geometry. And I think he was into the scale invariant harmony, trying to find an overall pattern in nature where everything was scale to scale and in harmony with an invariance. But the truth is, today's modern science is much more exacting, I guess I can say, the measurements and everything, you know. When I say that the sun is 8,640,000 miles across, the truth is it fluctuates. So all of that information that I'm giving you, as far as the scale invariance, it's actually, there's variance to it. The sun, all of the geodetic information has variance to it. For example, the Earth, you can take all that information I was providing and get the Earth's size and dimensions out of it, but that's variant as well because it's constantly moving. And the sun is constantly fluctuating. Our heartbeats are constantly fluctuating. But the harmony there is finding, a middle ground. And that's what the invariant scale harmony is where you find, you set your heartbeat at 72 beats per minute based on the movement of the sun in a full day, and then your two hands to calculate everything, and then, you come up with this awesome geodetic information where geometry and music and math and space and time all kind of collaborates. I realize a lot of what I say is over people's heads, or they don't kind of get the connections that I'm making. I study and read a lot of weird books, old stuff. But you can do the math yourself and find that, although I make mistakes, it all starts to line up. And the speed of light, that's the classical speed of light. Today is a more exacting science, so it's not exactly, 432 squared, but that's what we used to consider the speed of light. When I'm using these etymological definitions where I'm breaking down words like radius into radius, that's what those words meant to us 500, 2,000 years ago. Today they mean something a little different, But etymology is a really cool way to understand our language and history of our language and see how it ties into everything. I think it's kind of a cool subject to look into when you're playing with words and looking at words, because there's a lot hidden in our words. I think it's, we don't have the visibility anymore that our forefathers had. There was 98% greater visibility to the heavens, and for every star we see today, they saw 100 more, or maybe 98 more. It's like looking through a pinhole today. It must have been amazing. It must have been beautiful for someone to sit down and put all that information together for us that we use today. Anyway, sorry for the mistakes on the last video. It is what it is. Not perfect. But, yeah, I think it's all pretty cool stuff. I think Pythagoras said there's humming in the there's geometry in the humming of the strings and there's music in the spacing of the spheres. And it's all this ancient knowledge that I dig into to come up with all this stuff. But, I incorporate it into my music. If you watch any of my guitar playing, I'm using this knowledge in a sense. I think inherently human beings have two ways of expressing mathematics. Just like the universe speaks to us in mathematics. But we have this inherent ability to just naturally do and perform mathematics, whether it's dancing or when you get on a motorcycle and you rev it up and you jump over a building. You're calculating all these insane things in your brain, but you're not putting it on paper. You're just doing it on feel and instinct. When we're gymnasts, carpenters use tools, but a lot of guys eyeball stuff. These guys get really good. They put their tape measures down and just start cutting. We all have this ability to express the language of the universe, mathematics, whether it's hand-eye coordination or ear-to-eye coordination or just a mental ability to perform mathematical equations. But everything we do in our lives when we're moving and we're shifting and we're expressing ourselves, for anything that we're doing with art, where we artificially express the spirit of mathematics. I think it's cool that part of us inherently just does it, and then there's a part of us who wants to study it and understand it. It's pretty cool stuff. Anyways, be blessed, people. One love. Take care.